About strings attached Will Taylor booking system. We have the Booking Notes Touring House of Will show, which we're focusing on that one show for this effort. And the way you get to the notes, I've assigned a nice little bud URL, which is budurl.com/booktraining. So if you forget, everything is contained in the booking notes, and I'm occasionally updating them with new information, so you never have to go much farther than just the one page that's on Google Docs. We use Google Docs because it allows us to not have to pass around things in email and not know which is the most current version. So everybody's seeing the most current version on Google Docs. We use that for contracts as well. So we actually get to the point where we're doing a contract, we'll do that on Google Docs. So I'm just going to go through the items here, these that are on the booking notes from top to bottom, and raise your hand. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to go through the websites that we use for contacts, contact databases. But at the top we have a recorded booking training session with Ruby D, who is of Ruby D and the Snake Handlers, and she's a friend and who also does bookkeeping for me. And you can download these audio files and listen to them. They're about 2 hours long, where she's training my booking intern, Jeremy. So I'm not really going to go through much of that because it's already recorded. You can listen to those and just click there on Send Space. And then you really want to get as familiar with the product. This is just about sales. What you're doing, like I said earlier, is sales. It's developing relationships with people and following up, keeping track, keeping really good notes, being very efficient. Your success is going to be dependent on what level of efficiency you have, and really having a consistent system. Because you're going to eventually, if you stick with this, you may have as many as 100 or 1,000 contacts that you're having to be in contact with. So get as familiar with the product as you can, which is House of Wills. You can download the whole CD right here and drive around in the car. Get it where it's in your blood, and and you can just immediately describe it to a friend. You might practice when you're out there in the world, like, what's going on, Danny? How's your life? Oh, well, I'm working on this project. And can I tell you about it? Just practice being able to do the elevator speech. That's what they call it, where you can get it out in like 15 to 20 seconds, the gist of it. Okay, we'll get to that later. But part of that process is just having the music in your head. Hopefully you like the music. I'm hoping that you have an affection for it, because it's hard to sell something that you're not really in love with. Hold on. Okay, and then I've got this other audio training file here. It's on booking festival gigs. Now this file goes specifically with the festivalnet.com or website, which is a fantastic resource that just came about recently, and I have a membership to that. And that's a whole nother. So they basically made their own training course, and you can listen to it. So everything's here that you need to know. Website there. Get familiar with the project. Okay, for the calendar, my personal performance calendar is right there. Okay, so the way, I'll just click over there real quick. The way that looks is you can click on any of these links, and I like to look at it in month view. So most of the dates that we're looking at are probably going to be summer 2012 and beyond. So if you click all the way over there, you can see we've got lots of open dates. And anything in pink is Will's performance calendar. Karen's calendar is in this color, which we've described, kind of purplish color. So Karen is one of the primary vocalists in the group, and she tours a lot, or I don't know if I'd say a lot, but occasionally. So we have to kind of keep track of her schedule. So the pink and the purple. If you want to add a date, I'll just show you. Just click on the date, you put in the information here, pull down to Will's performance calendar. If you have something that like a venue that's very interested in what we're doing, you can put in there hold. If you started a back and forth relationship with a venue where it's looking like it's going somewhere, then you could just put in hold blah 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 venue. Okay, just so we're aware of it, that's on the horizon. how to open the box, I just click on the day, and you can put in here. You can actually, there's a little shorthand. You can be like 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and all that. It'll all go in there. But if it's just something that's on the horizon that you're starting to work on that looks like it's a hot possibility, then I would put in hold. Okay? Yeah. But you want to pull down this menu here, calendar. Make sure it's on performance calendar. That's the one we follow. All these other ones are, well, and then Karen's is important to look at. So you are going to have your own calendar related to your booking account. So my internet, that's if you're at the house, is Airlink. There's no password. Email account. Okay. So I want you to create your own Gmail account. Right now I've got, these are people that are working for me, Aaron, Chris, blah, blah, blah. So just go in and create your own email account with Gmail. And why don't we say 5? We'll just do that. Bookhouse of Wills 5. Okay. All right. I'll write it down here at gmail.com. And use that calendar in there. Did I write it right? Bookhouse of Wills 5 gmail.com. Okay, great. So there's a couple things that are great about Gmail. There's this thing called canned responses, and it allows you to set up. And you're going to be setting a lot of the same thing over and over again, and just changing the contact name as you go, rather than having to retype that. Or you might have just a template or a canned response that you go in and maybe you change a few things to personalize it. So I highly recommend. The way you do that, you set that up as you go on the right-hand corner to this little gear thing, down to Labs, and then over to. I'm doing this so everybody knows how to configure it. And then you'll go to canned responses and you click enable, and you go down to the bottom and press save, and then you're ready to go. So when you're composing an email, there'll be this little pull down menu called canned responses. Now you can see we have a bunch in here. So I had one set up for the booking internship response right there. So all I have to do is this, boom, and it's all in there, and I can change the name. I can go, hey, whoever, or I can go through it and cut and paste things out of there, but it's all ready to go. That's a huge time saver when you're dealing with booking. So you can have like your first letter. You could name them however you want. The first contact, follow-up letter. And just and the way you set it up is the way you make one is you go canned response. Actually, you make a letter. You go type, da, 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 and you pull it down to. How do you do that, Amanda? Let me see. Say new canned response. You go new canned response, and then you enter the name. So it could be House of Wills first email to venue, or whatever you want to call it. And then you can reuse that over and over again. Once again, any little thing you can come up with to save time is going to help you when you're dealing with hundreds or thousands of contacts. Okay, and the other thing is the calendar. I would really use the built-in calendar for scheduling callbacks. Okay, when you actually make a contact and you're able to give the pitch to this venue or client, whatever you want to call them, say to them, when is a good time to reach you? When can I follow up? Or if you don't have the opportunity, just tell it to them. Say, well, I'm going to give you a call back in 2 weeks on January 2nd, about 2 o'clock. Will that be a good time to reach you? And then go into your deal, go all the way to January, and put 2 p.m. call venue. I put the venue name in there because that'll be the way you search the contact. And then in the edit, and down here go reminder. Say, it's your choice. If you're working on the computer, you could use a pop-up, or if you want to just have a text message going to your phone, then put it in there. Okay, and then so that way, once you get all these scheduled, you don't have to worry about it. You just move on to the next contact. It's taken care of. What a lot of people do, other people they just make a bunch of calls and then they start looking through their lists. Who haven't I called recently? And that doesn't seem as sufficient to me, because then eventually you're gonna have, like I said, hundreds of contacts, and just the process of looking through those lists. Who haven't I called recently? I mean, you might do that, but this way you're taken care of. It's done. It's scheduled. It's finished. Okay. This came up from when I was adding, so I'm going to discard this. So if I set an appointment, right, I go edit event right here, like that, and that gets me all the details. and I want to make sure I pull down that menu again to performance calendar, and then reminders, add a reminder. Sometimes I actually add 3 reminders. If it's like a really important deal, and I'll make sure that I call this contact on a specific time. Because again, but the booking thing is a game, and you'll find that if you stick with this, it's a game to actually get the person while they're there. So I mean, you can even be on if you're dealing with an assistant. You can ask them like, well, when's a good time to, when can I reach them? What's a good window of opportunity, and then put that in your notes. Okay, but I would use that because eventually your calendar is going to be filled with reminders that will just come immediately to your phone or whatever. No, you're gonna have your own calendar. Yes, you'll have your own calendar, like you set up the book houseofwills5@gmail.com. That's the one you're gonna put your reminders. There'll be like your booking reminders. My calendar is just to check my availability or strings attached availability for gigs in the future. So if you have somebody on the phone, they're like, well, how does May 2012 look? Then you're going to go to my calendar, and the way you do that is open up another browser, not another browser, yes, another browser, because your email is going to be in one browser, and then my information will be in another, not another window, but another browser, because it's 2 different logins, right? Makes sense. And if you forget, just go back to the booking notes, and there's my information right there for logging into my calendar. Cool. Okay, so those are the 2 most important things for having your own email: is using the canned responses, making those up as you go. Feel free to interject, Amanda, if you want to mention if I'm missing anything, because I'm making a video. Okay, so I put a video here about how to use canned responses too. So if you need reminders about that, great. Okay, so we got you. Okay, now Zoho is my own database of contacts. It's a customer relationship management database. And here's my login, how to get in here. So zoho.com. And basically you're going to come in, when you log in, you'll probably come into this window right here. And then I want to make a part 2 on this. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm